Welcome in this new video, which is related to a new topic of refraction. It is called refraction of light through a prism. What is the topic? Refraction of light through a prism. In the previous video, we have studied about the refraction of light through lenses. Now, what is prism? Prism is a optical device made up of transparent materials like transparent glass. It is bounded by three rectangular faces and two triangular faces. The triangular faces are opposite to each other, and all the three faces are inclined with respect to each other through a definite angle known as angle of prism. See here, this is an outline diagram of a prism. This prism is actually made up of glass and composed of three rectangular plane faces. Suppose that 1, 2 and 3. These are three rectangular faces, and this and that, this face and this face. These two faces are triangular faces. So, in all, there are 5 plane faces in a prism, in which 3 are rectangular and 2 are triangular. Now, we can draw a ray diagram to show the refraction of light through the prism. This can be done by drawing a sketch of triangular face like this. ABC is a triangular face, and AB, BC and AC. AB, BC and AC represent rectangular faces. So, at any time, if we keep the prism on a plain paper pasted on the drawing board, clipped with paper pin, then we can sketch out a triangular figure on the paper. By placing the prism, triangular face of the prism on the paper, we can trace out a ray diagram like this: AB, BC and AC. This is the boundary of a triangular face of the prism. Now, draw a straight line PQ just touching the face AB here, touching the face AB. Now, place the prism on the diagram such that the three sides of the triangular face coincides with each other. Now, put two pins P and Q on this drawn line segment, and if we observe the image of these two pins P and Q from the opposite face, that is AB and AC are two opposite rectangular faces. These two are opposite rectangular faces. So when the pin P and Q are observed from the other side, we find that the position of PQ is not along the same direction, but it appears somewhere another. So there will be a path like this. When the image of the PQ are observed from other side, we see that the P appears here, P dash, and Q appears here as Q dash. Now in the same line, if we paste another pin R and S collinear with the image of PQ, P dash, Q dash, we feel that the RS is coming from P dash, Q dash, but actually the position of P dash, Q dash are really at P and Q. Why it has happened so? What is the reason? This is only because when the light rays coming from P and Q incident on the AB face of the prism get refracted at point E. Here there is a refraction of light and it doesn't pass along the PQEH direction but get deviated from its original path and diverts its path from PQH to PQEF direction, and after replacing the prism we can draw a points R and S, and if we join these 2 points and it is drawn up to the side AC, we get a line RS. Now after joining the points E and F, where E is the point of incidence and F is the point of emergence, so EF, the line segment EF inside the prismatic material inside the prism is nothing but the refracted rays. So PQ is the incident ray, EF is the refracted ray, and FRS is the emergent ray, means the light ray emerging out of the prism. Now if we draw the line segment PQ in its own direction, we will have the original path of the light towards PQEH, which is the initial path of the light. If the prism would have not placed there, then PQH was the original path of the light, incident light. But due to the presence of the prism, the path of light gets deviated from PQH to to PQEFH. So this is the deviation in the path due to the prism. This phenomena is called refraction of light through the prism. Here there are 2 points where the refraction occurs. At point E, the first refraction takes, that is from medium 1 to 2. Suppose that air is the medium 1 and glass is the medium 2. Then light rays passing from air to the prism, that is medium 1 to 2. Here refraction occurred at E. And at point F, EF, after joining EF we get the line EF, which is nothing but the refracted rays corresponding to the first refraction. Now refraction at point F, the second refraction takes place here, where the incident ray EF and FRS is the emergent ray or the refracted ray. Here rays passes from denser medium to the rarer. At first place there is refraction from rarer medium to denser medium, and here denser to the rarer. And as you know that when light passes from rarer to a denser medium, its path deviated towards the normal, and when it passes from denser to a rarer, its path deviated from away from the normal towards the normal, away from the original path. So here this angle RFM is denoted by E, and it is called angle of emergence, and here PEN is the angle of incidence here, and N-EF is the angle of refraction. So this is the refraction of light through the prism. Now there is a important term related to the refraction of light through the prism, that is angle of deviation. You see here, this is A, it is the angle of prism. The vertical angle opposite to the base is known as, that is the angle between the corresponding faces through which the refraction of light is taking place, is known as angle of prism. If we extrapolate the emergent ray and the incident ray in their own direction, opposite direction, what happens? These two lines intersect each other at a point G inside the prism. This is the point of intersection of incident ray and the emergent ray. This point of intersection makes an angle between the incident ray and the emergent ray, and it is denoted by D or delta. D or delta, it is called angle of deviation. This is known as angle of deviation. So angle, what is angle of deviation? Angle of deviation, delta, is the angle between incident ray and the emergent ray. Incident ray and the emergent ray. Incident ray is denoted by I and emergent ray is E. Here this is R and R dash. Geometrically it is observed that angle, if the two faces are of similar a smoothness and the angle of prism is the same as that of the basal angle, means all the angles are equal, then it is observed that angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence, provided that the light rays coming from the medium 1 after passing through the prism also enters into the same medium, that is 1, means air to glass and glass to air. In such condition, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. Now it is observed that the angle of deviation is different for different wavelengths of light. It is found that experimentally that the angle of deviation is directly related to the wavelength of light as well as the velocity of light. Wavelength of light and angle of deviation are correlated inversely, means greater the wavelength of light, a smaller the angle of deviation of the light. Means for the light rays of color red, means for red light, you know the wavelength of red light is larger than the violet or other visible lights. So among the 7 visible component colors of white light, red light has greatest wavelength among them. So the red light get deviated least, whereas the violet light get deviated most. Why it is so? Because the angle of deviation is inversely proportional to the wavelength. In contrast to this, the angle of deviation is directly proportional to the velocity of light. The velocity of light for red light is greater as compared to the violet light. I think you may ask that velocity of light is the constant terms, it is equal to 3.0 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. It means all the white light as well as all the components of white light should have traveled with the same velocity, but it is not the true for this situation. In the case of refraction through the prism, different components of white light travels with different velocities. Why? We know that there is a relation among wavelength, frequency and velocity of light like this: V equal to n lambda or nu lambda. V equal to nu lambda, where V is the velocity of light, nu is the frequency and lambda is the wavelength. Frequency of all the components are same, and in order to make the frequency same, we can say or we can write V varies as lambda. V varies as lambda means velocity is directly proportional to lambda, and we have already discussed earlier that delta is directly proportional to lambda. So we may write V is directly proportional, lambda is directly proportional to V. Means if nu is constant, then what is happening here? Means V varies as lambda, and lambda is directly proportional to dm, means delta. What is delta? The angle of deviation. So there is a inverse relation between the angle of deviation and the velocity of light. From this, V by lambda equal to nu, constant. If velocity of light in air is constant, then nu is proportional to this one, lambda. So we may write this as there is a correlation between velocity and the wavelength. Frequency is constant. So for given frequency, the angle of deviation is inversely proportional to the velocity of light. That is why when the velocity of red light is greater than the velocity of violet light, in this situation the wavelength of red light is larger than the wavelength of the violet light. So violet light get deviated most. The angle of deviation for violet light is greater than the angle of deviation for red light. So for the difference in the angle of deviation for different components of violet light, we may have a set of colors or band of colors get arranged according to their wavelengths from red to violet, and this observation is known as dispersion of light. The phenomenon of the deviation or refraction of light through the prism is called dispersion of light. So let us try to understand the dispersion of light. When light passes through the prism, it gets deviated from its path and forms a band of 7 component colors like this. We see here this is a band of light, 7 component colors. V, I, B, G by O, R. The first term of the 7 component colors are vibgyor, means violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. This is called dispersion of light. So dispersion of light is also a case of refraction of light, and when the different components get deviated from their path at different angles, they get arranged according to the decreasing order of their wavelength or increasing order of their frequency. Wavelength, increasing order of frequency and decreasing order of wavelength. But the decreasing order of velocity. The velocity of red light is more as compared to orange, as compared to yellow, green and so on. So as we move from red to violet, there is a decrease in the velocity of light, as well as there is a decrease in the frequency of light, but increase of frequency of light and decrease of wavelength. So this is known as visible spectrum. We will have a band of 7 colors when it is obtained on the white paper or the screen. We will have a very beautiful color, band of color, in which the 7 component colors are arranged one below another, but there is no distinct division of one color with another. Each color, the next color overlap with the previous one. So 2 colors are overlapped on each other at their junction. So there is no distinct boundary line between 2 colors. One color is overlapping with other. It is because there is a wide range of frequencies between these 7 component colors. You know that the wavelength of red light is of 7800 angstrom, and that of violet light is 4000 angstrom, means 4000 angstrom. Means there is a wide range of 4000 frequencies between red and violet. That is why large number of waves get arranged within the short interval of the spaces. That is why they appear overlapping with each other. This is all about dispersion of light. Thank you. We will discuss the counterbalance of the dispersion in the next video. Thank you.